No.
I have a story that this is the first time I've heard of it this week,
Mhm.
and it's wild. And I shared it with Andrew this morning, so he could probably help me with some stuff because it's dense.
Okay.
There's a lot of information.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to do a quick and minimal reading because when I read it, I start getting confused. Naturally,
Naturally, when I read,
like everyone
I
does.
get confused.
They say
Like everyone.
you guys get it. I do a terrible job with notes. I'm trying to get better, but
You're doing.
I highlight. Some
You need to
stuff.
get an iPad, dude.
Yeah,
That would be dope.
that would be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meditating.
do it on an Apple Watch. So, guys, speaking of 5 for 5, have you guys ever heard of the couple Nicholas and Helena Roerich?
No,
No,
not ringing a bell.
I have.
Andrew
I'm
has.
not. My goal is to be able to say yes when you say that one time. But no,
One
not this
day.
time.
One day. But so they were this couple, very smart couple, from the early 1900s. They were born, I think, in the 1800s. But Nicholas, they're ex-Russian patriots, right?
Okay.
So this is the time of Soviet Russia, and they weren't on board with the communist thing, so they fled to the U.S. But he was a archaeologist and a very famous painter, and his wife was a philosopher and translator.
What?
Whoa.
Multi-talented, everybody.
But what's weird about them is that they were like world-renowned mystics, right? So they were like very much a part of like the occult and like mysticism and like all this weird stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
Supernatural stuff.
Excuse me.
Water break. Google.
But in the 1920s, they had American sponsors to go to Tibet, to what was not officially written down, but that's what people are saying they went there for, was to look for the lost city or hidden city of Shambhala, which is a city talked about in myths from India, China, Mongolia. All these countries talk about this city called Shambhala,
Okay.
which is a city that is in the hollow earth.
Oh boy.
And supposedly this city is ruled by godlike people that possess knowledge and technology that far surpasses what we know.
I know where this is going.
That's Wakanda.
That it's yeah,
Yeah.
but it kind of is like it though.
Right. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so
And
they
they-
were just looking for Wakanda.
Nearly rhyme.
Imbo bop, right? Is that what they do?
Yeah. Bop. I don't know.
Imbo bop,
Bop.
I think that's
Imbo
the
bop,
I don't know.
Mbappe.
Bop. I don't know.
Hanson. Bop.
Oh yeah,
Bop. They transition to that.
Scuba da bop bop.
Wakanda's just
Do
huge
bop.
fans of Hanson.
Scuba da bop bop.
I have an idea for a jingle, or I mean, our little chant.
All right, so they were going to the Himalayas in Tibet, and it was going to be a 5-year journey, and they covered a total of like 15,000 uncharted paths, roads, and stuff like that. So big journey. So it was Nicholas, Helena, their son, who was very known for his war knowledge, and so he was going to protect them. You know,
What?
Oh, he's the older son.
older son.
My head went to like a little kid, like the babysitter called out the
No.
last second.
Nicholas and Helena, they were probably like in their 60s.
That
maybe
makes sense.
70s.
They've done a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah. And
Which
then-
one's the son? Got to be the foreground, right? The hat.
Yeah, the hat guy.
He looks like an adventurer.
Oh yeah, and then a crew of 5.
Okay.
And the reason they had this big group and the son came was because Tibet was a war-torn country at this point, because the I forget what the Chinese dynasty that was currently or was happening at the time, it fell, so they no longer had control of Tibet. So Tibet was full of like warlords and bandits and stuff. And if you're caught as a foreigner in Tibet, you're either enslaved, tortured, or killed.
All
most
right.
likely. One of those 3, like guarantee. So they
You can Tibet on it.
you can bet on that.
I bet they can.
So they did this journey, right? And this is where it gets weird. They were followed the whole time by American British and Russian spies.
Yes.
So they were being tailed the whole time by 3 countries. Like the government said, follow these people.
This is literally like Indiana Jones.
But the purpose of them going, what was said was for him to study Tibetan culture. But yet they were still followed by Soviet, U.S., and British spies. They go and, they're going through the Himalayas, all this stuff. And then he wrote in his journal, Nicholas, there was this incident to where they saw this giant black eagle. And then right above this black eagle, he said the whole party saw it. This was in the 1920s. Was a giant silver craft above it, just hovering silently.
Birds are spies.
Huh? Birds are spies. Yeah.
If it flies, it spies.
Yes.
And he described it oval shape, and it was like this seamless, and it was hovering, and it was moving erratically, super fast, and then it just took off.
Okay.
Erotically.
No.
What other color do eagles come in?
I don't know.
The bald ones
red,
are-
white, and blue?
Oh.
Hey. No, so they saw this thing.
That was my eagle sound, by the way.
And he described it as a UFO, but this was like 24 years before UFOs were like even
Right.
talked about.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And then he wrote, he started having visions of this city. And the myth is the closer you get to Shambhala, the city actually infiltrates your mind
Yikes.
to where you can start seeing glimpses of this city.
Whoa.
Oh, I forgot to say too. The only reason that they went on this journey in the first place is that Helena was having visions in America of Shambhala and like this godlike person saying like, "Come to Shambhala."
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Shambhala.
Calling.
She's a mystic.
And then Nicholas started receiving these visions, so that's why they went. But after this UFO encounter,
That's like really good marketing, isn't it?
they
The god calling them to the city?
Is that what's happening?
Could be. I also was kind of like thinking like I wonder if he really did or if he was just his wife was just talking about it a lot and he was like, "No, I saw the vision too." Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I saw it.
last
Oh, yeah.
night in my
What
dream.
do you want me to say?
What did it look like? Just like yours. Whatever you said.
exactly like
It was
yours.
weird. It was the same as the one you had.
How did you describe it again?
I'm just thinking about like these people that like are managing the city or whatever, and you know how like different states will put out like commercials or something like visit Montana or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like you're walking through the jungle and all of a sudden you have this like ad in your brain of like, this is what the city
A
looks like.
brain ad.
Yeah, it's like
A mid-roll brain ad.
those are
Their
gonna
marketing
happen
team
soon,
is
though.
like, how do we get people?
they're like, how do
there?
we start utilizing this whole brain thing happening?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, run an ad or something.
You know what we're really missing is tourism.
Gosh, mid-roll brain. What if you were just like, I gotta tell my brother how much I care about him. Pause. Las Vegas. Come on out.
How long do you think it is before
Back to
until
it.
we get advertisements in our dreams?
Well, probably when everyone has like a Neuralink thing.
I don't
In
think
our
it's too far off.
dreams.
You don't think there's
I feel like-
ways-
Yeah.
Oh, that
in
it's
your
like-
dream.
in your dreams, pal.
Oh, burned him.
But after this UFO encounter,
Yeah, sorry.
they went further into the Himalayas,
Mhm.
and the whole party disappeared for 12 months. And so the Russians, the Soviets, the Americans, and British, they all just assumed they were dead. They were gone for a full year.
They lost. They didn't see where they went.
No.
They're
They're
bad
gone.
spies.
They are bad spies.
They reemerge after 12 months. 5 of the 7 in the party died.
They came back.
Only the Roriks survived.
They came back dead.
But not the
They
sun.
emerged
No, the
dead,
son did.
or they never came
5
back.
of 7. That
Sorry,
leaves
no.
2.
The son, father, mother came back alive.
It's the bond of family that kept them together.
And when they were questioned, they said, "Oh, we were captured, and we were in a prison camp in Tibet for 5 months." And they said, "Well, what about the
Other
remaining
7
7 months?"
Yeah, yeah.
And no clear answer. So they went back to the U.S., and the mission for what their purpose was deemed not good. You didn't do a good job. We didn't accomplish what we needed to.
Yeah, right.
But they accomplished something because the sponsors that sponsored them to go were so well pleased that they ended up getting Franklin D. Roosevelt to sign a thing for them to go back to Tibet. And he was encouraged by, what's his face? His name is Henry A. Wallace, who was a vice president of FDR. But before he was vice president of FDR, he was the Secretary of Agriculture, United States Secretary of Agriculture.
Yeah.
And the purpose of them going back was to study the erosion of plants in Central Asia.
Sure.
So they funded the Roriks to go back, who, by their job title or like what they study in, plants is not like their thing. Archaeologist, painter,
philosopher, mystic.
It's weird.
War expert.
So they go back, but this time they're going for the plants, but they're really going for this thing. One, to find Shambhala again, maybe.
Right.
Or to find the, how do you say this? The Chintamani stone, which is basically the Eastern version of the Philosopher's Stone.
Whoa.
Right?
I like how you said a very reasonable word, and then you said a Harry Potter word, and we all were like,
Now I get it.
Chintamali what now? Philosopher.
Chris Columbus. Back again.
Whoa.
Oh.
Here's where it gets crazy.
Here is where?
Again.
Oh,
It
good.
keeps getting crazier. They go in, still being followed by Soviets, U.S., British, because they obviously found something the first time, right? Otherwise, why would the president of the United States sign off on them going back?
Right.
Well,
erosion's a big issue, though.
It is very big, especially in Tibet.
We need more info.
But they disappeared for another 3 months in the mountains.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And this time, how many died?
I don't know.
That's the end of their story?
No.
Oh.
They came back after 3 months. And what Nicholas wrote in his journal was that during his travels, they came across this very remote Buddhist temple in the Himalayas.
Okay.
And he walked in, and it said the abbot of the temple, which I guess is just like the keeper of the temple, saw him. And what Andrew saw and read was that Nicholas had a freckle pattern or something that would have matched up to what he believed would be the next Dalai Lama.
Oh.
So like
That's
the
a
new
thing?
reincarnation of Dalai Lama.
Right.
And so he instantly, no questions asked, brought over to him a pillow with a veil over it, and under the veil was a black stone. Which what it was, in fact, from the stories, the Chintamani stone. Chintamani stone.
I got a lot of freckles.
Yeah. Maybe you're the Dolly. Mark the deli.
Oh.
Sweet ham. I'm going to stop.
I'm gonna stop. Barely started, but I'm gonna stop.
Chintamani stone. You guys, the Chintamani stone.
Yeah.
But supposedly this stone, when the abbot handed him the stone, he said, what did he say? He said, know how to use it and how not to misuse it. Very deep.
Yeah.
And then on the stone, Nicholas says that there was something inscribed on it in Sanskrit, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the first languages. And it says, through the stars I come, I bring the chalice covered with the shield within it. I bring a treasure, the gift of Orion. Really weird. But supposedly
into some Men in Black territory. Orion's belt. The cat.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
No.
The whole universe was in
from
the
Men in
cats.
Black
Yeah.
with
Rosario Dawson.
Will Smith.
William.
What?
Williams. The gift of Orion. Go on.
The gift of Orion.
Yeah.
But supposedly this was the Chintamani stone was one of 3 stones. So it came from space. the Orion Belt. And when it entered Earth, it broke into 3 stones. And supposedly, if you hold this stone, it shows you the way and how to enter Shambhala, the secret city that is run by godlike people, i.e. maybe fallen angels. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, you can see the future and past at the same time. So it's like this, like, very weird stone.
Did he hold it?
Yeah, he had it for a couple of years. And this is where it gets crazy. Vice President, what's his face? Henry A. Wallace wrote to Nicholas and said, "We await the stone. We welcome you again to this glorious land of destiny."
What?
So he was sent to go get this stone.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Henry A. Wallace is like, "We await the stone."
So you have to wonder if he even cared about the erosion.
You tell me this guy doesn't
Wait
care
a
about erosion?
second. Hold on, back up.
I'm starting to think this guy doesn't care at all.
There's somebody in the Department of Agriculture that was like legit, like that'll be really helpful when we get that information.
Yeah.
Because we've been dealing with some erosion, and that would be nice to know what they're working with.
Just one geologist in the back.
Yeah.
Aw,
And
come
this
on.
He shows up under like this very like shrouded entry. Hey man, did you get those numbers? No, dude.
I keep getting the runaround on these reports.
I'm looking for the erosion numbers.
You got him, right?
Oh,
No
That is wild. That story is so.
it's not done. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're bored with the story,
I'm
but
not.
it's not done.
I want to know where the other
it
two
just
stones are.
entered into some Thanos territory.
Yeah.
Nicholas brought the stone back to that temple.
Was it Nicholas, the Philosopher's Stone? Wasn't it held with Nicholas?
Flamel. Flamel.
Well,
Nicholas. That is actually weird.
Wait.
Think about that.
That's weird. Which Nicholas Flamel, is a real person.
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
there were some British spies following those people. Guess where J.K. Rowling's from?
Tibet? Wait.
I was about to say the island. I mean, the city. I can't remember the name of it.
Shambhala?
Shambhala?
He brought it back and he gave it to the abbot. And then the 13th Dalai Lama said, no one can ever see these stones. And so the Dalai Lama took the 3 stones and then hid them to where no one could ever find them.
Wow.
It's like, well, then you get it.
Rude.
You get to hang out with them.
Nicholas goes back to the U.S. And so you would deem this mission was a failure, right? Was it? Because as soon as he got back, FDR, they signed this new thing called the
New Deal.
No. The Roerich Pact,
Oh.
which basically it was a
Which said
It's
if
a-
we're not married by the time we're 35.
yes. It was
Got
a
it.
Roerich Pact, and it was signed with all the American countries. So
Okay.
North America, Central, South America.
Oh, got it.
And it was this pact basically saying if war ever breaks out, we will never, or basically historic sites and stuff are protected. The Roerich Pact played a huge instrumental piece into the foundation of the United Nations.
Oh my gosh.
Weird connection, right?
Yes.
What's even weirder is the flag of the Roerich Pact. It's 3 circles. Like the three stones.
Wow. This really feels like Harry Potter.
I know, right?
It's crossing into a lot of intellectual properties.
Disney's like, you did what with stones? That's our territory.
What I find is interesting, this is just me, is just like, okay, so before the 1920s and stuff, we didn't really see UFOs. The atom bomb wasn't created. Did they, in fact, reach this place and gain knowledge of how to create the atom bomb?
Bring it back.
Because supposedly Shambhala possessed weapons that far surpassed what we're knowledgeable of creating.
Right.
And so the atom bomb went off after this whole journey.
Right.
The United Nations was founded. Blah, 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 blah. We started seeing UFOs.
Right.
Coincidentally, right after we dropped the atom bomb.
Dude, something
We're
else.
losing you, Anthony.
No, I was just thinking it is interesting because I hadn't thought about this before, but the atom bomb really is like such a seismic jump
Yeah.
in
That's-
military
yeah.
technology,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you're like lighting a stick of dynamite, saying "fire in the hole," throwing it, and then which is I'm sure they were better than that, in like World War One. But like then you have like the concept of like splitting an atom is
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a pretty big jump, almost like the pyramids are architecturally, right? Where you're
Yes.
like, oh, you're making nice houses and stuff. That's fine. Oh, that's a 480-foot stone structure with stones that aren't from around. That seems like a big jump
2 million stones.
from the house that you were putting together, which is great. But I think it's interesting. Yeah.
I found that whole story insane. Of
Dude.
just like
That
it's
needs, to,
just
that needs to be a
weird.
movie,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude,
That-
Seriously.
I just
Yeah.
put this together though. How many stones were there?
3.
And how many people survived and came back from the 12-month?
No.
Dun dun dun.
No.
5. Just kidding. This-
I was like, oh shoot. I actually
There's a part of Avengers
it's weird though, man.
That's crazy.
when they have to kill the people to get the stones.
Yeah, it sounds like they just killed him.
Who did?
The 3 people that survived, the mom, dad, and the son.
Killed everybody else?
Yeah, probably because
Probably.
they
I think
found Shambhala.
Yeah.
It was
They
probably
said
the
they
son.
can't.
The stones
can't let
made him.
They
Anyone
probably
know
like,
about
oh,
it.
we got to tell everyone about this. Like, no.
Yeah.
Let's relax.
Get them, boys.
Ninjas are butterflies. Did I say ninja? I meant butterfly. The butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful